42nd, let's go. I heard that we hitting that 34th, let's go. I heard that we hitting that 14th, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. What? I heard that we hitting that Union Square, let's go. I heard that we hitting that Howard Square, let's go. I heard that we hitting that Times Square, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hello and welcome to the Built in the Bronx podcast. I am your host, Maximilian Hill, and today we are very lucky to have a wonderful guest. Pierre currently serves as the campus program manager at Dell Technologies. He has 8 years of dedicated experience in talent acquisition. He's worked as a recruiter and he's hired people in various verticals, including engineering, life sciences, marketing, and more. Ron, thank you for coming on the Built in the Bronx podcast. How are you today?
Great. Thank you for having me, Max. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time to have me on here.
No, it's all our pleasure. So tell me, what is going on at Dell? Such a wonderful company.
So right now, I just started as a campus. I've been with Dell for about going on 4 years now. And I'm going on 6 months as a campus program manager. And I am in charge of 4 different schools right now, which is Howard University, FIU, North Carolina Central University, and also Boston College. So right now, we're focusing on hiring interns for different business units that we collaborate with. For example, like right now, I have finance and marketing just down my throat asking for candidates for their upcoming internships, which usually last for about 3 months. It starts about around May and it runs until August, where we'll pay for relocation for our main locations, which is Round Rock, Texas, or even Hopkinton, Massachusetts. And we hire different backgrounds such as computer science, which is good that you got me on here. Marketing, HR, finance, just a variety of different backgrounds. It also depends on the business unit as well too. So that's what's going on right now. A lot of hiring, a lot of going out to different campuses and working with different interns and early career folks as well too.
That's wonderful. I know I've been working in, I call it workforce development / early career recruiting for about almost 2 years now. And I've really enjoyed serving our students. It's really personally fulfilling. And I think it's just a wonderful career space. A lot of people don't know about it, but I think there's such a demand for it because college is, it's been recognized as like an institution that promotes social mobility during a time where social mobility is very rare. So it's wonderful work that you are doing. I do have some questions. I know you mentioned, I saw online something about partnering with schools to build, is it video game?
That was in FIU. We had esports lounge.
Yes.
Esports lounge. That was great. Now, that is something that we partnered with FIU on. However, that is a separate entity as well, too.
No problem. Talk about. I just know that a lot of our students would love to hear about esports and anything related to video.
Yeah. So that was my first time I went down to the campus and I saw it, and it's supposed to be, I think, one of the biggest lounges, esports lounge, in North America that we have. They just started this. So right now they're looking for different schools as well too. And I can talk to you about that offline as well too. Try to get you the information on that as well too. I'm not sure how they pick their schools, but somehow we got to partner with them, with Dell and also FIU. It was great. There's a lot of backstory to it that I can also tell you about. I know they're looking for additional schools as well too, but yeah, we'll go into that.
Okay. So we can talk about that later offline. So first I'll start with some practical questions. Specifically, what are some of the internships that are currently available at Dell that are really right up the alley of a computer science major?
Right now, and the thing about some of these roles, they become available. Like you'll see a lot of these roles opening up around December, even January for the month of May. A lot of these positions are not going to be available now because, for example, if they were available now, you'd probably have thousands of applicants for a
Right.
position in May. And it all depends on their process as well too, because some people like they'll, for example, if they put out a role in January, they might do their interviewing and screening, let's say February, March, offers in April for a May start, we would say.
Okay.
Or maybe that's sometimes it takes a little longer than that. But right now, to answer your question, there's no specific role. I don't have anything that's specifically open, but I always encourage people to go online, check periodically. And I tell them, hey, if you see something on jobs.dell.com, reach back out to me on my LinkedIn. And what I'll do is once the person applies, I'll try to expedite their application to the recruiter by reaching out to that recruiter and saying, hey, Sally Mae or John Doe applied to this position and I spoke to them. Can you take a look at them so I can get a feedback as soon as possible? So I tell people it's always good to know
Yeah.
someone within the company.
Yes, always. Now I'm going to interject here
Yeah.
because I'm of the opinion that cold applying to a company where you know nobody is a losing strategy. It's a strategy, but it's just a very low percentage strategy, right? And it's never been easier to professionally network, to be a strategic networker. Now, I lost my job right around the beginning of the pandemic, and I had to figure out how to become a better networker, right?
Mhm.
Or, I was gonna die on a street corner in Brooklyn.
Right.
Right. And I was, they call it rage applying, right? Where you go onto LinkedIn and then you just easy apply, easy apply, easy apply. Well, it's like your mother said, there's no such thing as easy, right? That's worth doing. If it's easy, then it's probably not going to be a good strategy. So,
No.
I mean, just through LinkedIn, I've built relationships with people at companies big and small. Um, and if you don't have someone that's on the inside that's pulling for you, you're fighting an uphill battle. I mean,
It's
can
true.
it be done? Sure, it can be done, right? But there's
It's like playing
always, yeah,
it's like playing a lottery now. If you go to LinkedIn, if you apply for a role, before you apply for the position, you look at the number of applicants. The position just got posted 10 hours ago. It is already 500 applicants. You
Wow.
I
know,
know. It's like
every position.
do the math,
Wow.
right? If you're a computer science major, you're good at math, right? You wouldn't be, or maybe you're a computer science major, you're not a very good one. If you can't, you have to, there's math involved, right? So
Yeah.
yes, it is true because you look at it and yeah, in 24 hours, the recruiter might have a Stephen King novel,
Right.
300 pages of resumes, right? No
Right.
one has time to read all that. So, which brings me to my next question. Uh, the statistic that gets thrown around a lot is that recruiters spend an average of about how long on most resumes?
Oh my gosh. That could vary because for me to look at a resume, it can take anywhere from a few seconds. It shouldn't, I know what I'm looking for. If I know what I'm looking for, it should take no more than 1 minute to look over the resume. Some people look, I've worked with managers who actually look at resumes, they look for a story within the resume, and I try to, when helping people with resumes, I try to help people with the story. I've done it with my own resume. Um, but for me, to answer your question, no more than probably a minute or two, because I asked the manager, okay, what are you looking for? What skills? What specific things are you looking for? Attributes? And sometimes they should be on the resume. If not, then it's going to be like one of those, you know. And nobody, and I'll be as a recruiter, there's no recruiter that really wants to sit there looking for a word like a needle in a haystack. And that's another thing about having a clean resume as well too.
So that follow-up question, okay, obviously we all know AI, right? We all know any AI related skills, any chat GPT related skills are going to be in demand, right? That's like the low-hanging fruit, right? But what else? What other skills are you looking for in a strong candidate?
Oh, that's a good question because I just received an email on that as well too. If I can remember, it's also personal skills as well too. We want to know how the person interacts with others as well too, how they work within groups, because a person can have all the skills, technical skills, but we want the soft skills as well too.
Absolutely.
You know, um, there was a new list that was brought up, but from my understanding of working with managers, I know soft skills, it's a whole package beyond just the technical skills that I know previous employers I've worked with just focused on. But at Dell, they want the whole package. So to answer your question, personal skills as well too. Um, Somebody that has a fire within as well too. Team player.
Yeah. About
Oh, I'm sorry. Huge. This is huge at Dell. Huge to have at Dell. This is what's gonna make you
drum
last.
roll.
Agile.
Okay.
Have to be agile. Because Dell reminds me of playing for the New England Patriots. I'm sorry, but when I'm a Boston. I grew up
It's
as a
okay,
Patriot.
man. I think everyone's got respect for Tom Brady.
Okay, even though the Giants beat us twice, but that's a different story, different day. So with New England, you come into New England and you come in as let's say a running back. You might have to play tailback or cornerback. You might have to play a different position. You got to play. It's a job that's given to you, and it's like at Dell. The way you're gonna survive here is, you'll come here. There's a program that we have too. It's called a rotational program. The rotational program, a lot of individuals, even with computer science backgrounds, it doesn't matter what background you have, you come in here, you'll be placed into one side of the business for about a few months. It might be this is the tech side, and 3 months later, you go into marketing, 3 months after that, finance. So they bring you all around Dell. You get to know all of the different business units. And then at the end, you actually find out what you're much passionate about, which is
I
really,
think
really
that's incredible. I know I haven't been fortunate enough to participate to work at a company that has had that. I know I've had friends and colleagues who have, and it seems to make just so much sense to me. You get exposure to the whole thing, so you see the big picture
yes.
from the beginning
Yeah.
instead of just most companies, you just get caught in one silo, right? And
Because did you know you were gonna do what you were gonna do? Like
I had no idea. No.
exactly. Like this is how I felt too, until someone exposed this to me, and I said, "Oh, this is kind of cool." I can help other people out. So I think you should be exposed to other things, even if you're passionate about something. You should just be open minded. That's my opinion.
For sure. And you mentioned, in addition to the hard tech skills, that you guys are looking for soft skills and being the ability to work with others. And it, some Tatiana Kolovu came to mind, and I took one of her courses on how to make a first impression, and would like your thoughts on this. She said there's two aspects to making a good first impression,
Okay.
and the two tests, right? The first test is, do I like this person, right? Um, like, is this person likable? Can I see myself working with this person? Because at the end of the day, in our careers, we actually spend more time with our coworkers than we do with family members, often, not always, but for many people, depending
Okay.
on the line of work and the company you're in.
Yeah.
And if you don't pass that first test, you fail to make a good first impression, right? And if you do pass the test, I am likable. I find this person likable. Then you get to step two, which is this person competent, right? Because if it's an interview for a business, right now you get the opportunity to prove your competence, right? And of course, you've got to, sorry about the phone, but of course, you've got to prove your competence, right?
Mhm.
And if you can prove your competence, and if you can show that you're likable, right? Boom, you have made a great first impression. What do you think of that?
I think I think that's how I got into Dell. That's how I got hired. I already had an offer that was I took about a 30,000 pay cut to come to Dell because of that. There was a conversation that my previous manager called me, and it was one of those genuine conversations. And I thought it was a selling conversation because I was getting sold with a bunch of different people. But he was so genuine, and it felt like a regular we're at the bar. And then I said, you know what? I'll forget. I can see myself working with this guy. This guy, he's genuine. Forget the 30,000, because I can see myself not liking to go to work every day, but actually working. And I can see myself building something. I see something more long term here. So, it makes sense of what you said. Um, I think people like, for example, like for me, I think it's just being honest and opening up and being vulnerable. I fall for people who are vulnerable, and I think vulnerability is one of the main strengths I think within a relationship um, that I've came across before.
Okay, next question. Our students, we're located right in the heart of New York City, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of companies here, so they've got a lot of choices, right? Why should they choose to work at Dell? What sets Dell apart from the other companies?
I can tell it when people ask that question, I can only tell them about my experience at Dell. For example, with Dell, this is the only job that I've been at where they promote within. And I've been with Dell going on 4 years, and I've been promoted probably 3 times already and raises. This is the only company that I've been at. They actually forced me to take vacations. Okay. So, so I probably have like 2 months of vacation. This is the only company that I've been at that doesn't feel like I'm going to work every day at all. Actually feels like family. This is the only company that I took a 30,000 pay cut at. And this is the only company that actually made me grow within my role and professionally. When I came here, I felt like I think you're always growing at Dell. You're always growing. There's new projects here. You're being bumped around to new things and new ideas. So to answer your question, Dell's innovative and Dell is growing, and Dell is basically it's not a job. It's a lifestyle, I would say.
Good. You're an author, right?
Oh, yeah. I did that I was on my spare time. Yeah, you could call it that. You could call it that.
So
Something I did on my spare time. I was snowed in one year. Do you know how it is?
I wrote a book during the pandemic. Well,
Yeah.
it wasn't a book. I shouldn't say that. It was a couple chapters in a scholarly journal. But yeah, I mean, we all had to do stuff. But you are a lifelong athlete. I'm a lifelong athlete. I think the values of fitness are the benefits of fitness flow into almost every aspect of our lives. So I just wanted to point that out. But all right, last question before I'm gonna open it up to Chande.
Okay.
If you had a billboard overlooking the Cross Bronx Expressway and it could say anything, 10 words or less, what would it say?
Dell 2025.
I like it. I like it. That's wonderful. All right, Chande, do you have any questions
Hey,
for Ron?
yes, Ron. Hello. My name is Chandi. I'm a senior at Liberty College and pursuing a Bachelor's of Science in Computer Information Systems. So I have a couple of questions that I'd like to ask. Um, how would you describe the company culture at Dell, and especially for new employees starting out the company?
In terms of the culture, I love it because when I came on board, my focus was on diversity. We had 2030, diversity goals that we wanted to actually uh, that was our objective. That's still our objective right now to this day, compared to other companies that I've worked at where it was mostly non-diverse. I feel right at home. I feel like more it's more of like family, I would say.
Okay. All right. And what advice do you have for recent graduates that are starting their careers, like are looking into a career in Dell at Dell?
Oh, you guys are so lucky. I say this all the time. Just do not be too aggressive. Uh,
Mm,
be hungry. Definitely try to make a connection. Okay. If you don't get the job, if you get a
mhm.
rejection, don't worry about that. Focus on making that connection that is most important. At least if you have five people on LinkedIn at Dell, you're making that connection, you're speaking with them, you will get into Dell eventually. Biggest thing is not to be too aggressive.
All right. And what do you think makes Dell a place where people want to build a long-term career?
I've spoken with people, and I've worked with people, and I am working with people that have been at Dell for about 20, 25 years. There's a reason why they're there. And I know why they're there for that long
Hmm.
because of the promote within its growth within Dell. The company culture is great. Michael Dell did a great job as well. Um, it's Dell, it's the whole around package, I would say. I've never worked I've been doing this for about 10 to 12 years. I've never been with a company that's actually so great to their employees. They promote vacation, they promote family. Um, what's the word I'm looking for? Work-life balance. They promote.
Okay. And one last question. What are some ways Dell has adapted to recent change in the tech industry, such as AI and data-driven solutions?
But right now, we are starting up. We have a lot of programs, AI programs that we have within Dell as well too. I
Hmm.
actually had to take a AI certification through Dell as
Hmm.
well. So Dell offers courses for AI as well too,
Mm.
and we're working with different schools who offer AI courses. So we're promoting
Okay.
that.
Uh,
That's great. Sean, do you have any more questions?
yeah, I actually do. I have one more. My fault.
Good.
Um,
Go for
how
it.
does how does Dell stay competitive in the technology industry, and what roles do new team members play in supporting that vision?
So that's a good question. In terms of the team players, two new team members coming on board. We're growing right now.
Hmm.
We're growing, and we're going into a first quarter of next year. We're growing. So
Yeah.
as we grow, team members coming in, they're going to be making a major impact. And then once they make the major impact, for example, I hired my cousin in Miami in sales, and he already got promoted twice already. He's on his third team right now. So there's
Hmm.
a lot of growth within. Once you come in, you make that impact. There's a lot of growth within, and of course, if you're making that impact, it makes us look good within the industry as well too.
All right. And one final question, and I'm done. Are there opportunities for networking and mentorship within the company?
Oh, for sure, for sure. We have office hours. We have different events for that as well too. Even when I'm on campus, we have mixers. When we're on college campuses, that we invite other people to come on campus, talk to different individuals within our team, different business
Hmm.
as well too. Um,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you guys have a handshake. We usually put that
Oh,
on.
we do.
Yeah, we usually promote a handshake. Now, I'm hoping that we start working with in the New York region. I'm not sure. I don't think we're there right now at the moment.
Yeah.
That's something that we could speak about in the spring with our company to see how it makes sense. And if we were to hire and work with anybody within the New York area, we would have to relocate you to our main office, which is closer to you, which is 4 hours away up in Hopkinton, Massachusetts. And that's something
Oh,
we can
wow.
further in conversation with. For example, if you guys go on there and apply for a role right now, you
Yeah.
use my name, Ronald Pierre, as a reference. And if you end up if that happens, just send me an email and I'll see if I can get you up there. And
Hmm.
something if even with a tech background, if there's an internship that opens up and you see that, definitely take advantage and then put my name on there. We'll go forward from there.
Okay. Thank you.
Pleasure.
All right. Chande, thank you so much for coming. Really
No, it's
appreciate you hanging out and asking wonderful questions. And
no
it's
problem.
that I think asking good questions is very important when you're dealing with recruiters, hiring managers, etc. So,
Yeah.
and Ron, special thanks to you for coming out to on the Built in the Bronx podcast. We're going to share this with some of our students.
Awesome.
And keep in touch, all right? We're
will.
really appreciative of you dropping some knowledge with us today.
Oh, sorry.
And
I have one more question.
Yep.
Will you be at the Afrotech conference
Oh
that's happening
yeah,
next
I'm going to
week?
Afrotech. That's crazy.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll be
come
seeing
see
you
me.
then.
Yeah, come by, come by. That's funny. That's crazy. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, come by.
Yeah,
You're
I
coming
definitely
too,
see.
Max, or no?
I don't know. I got to see.
With the
There's
funding.
there's too many. There's too many events. I
I'll
can't
definitely
get to
come
them
by.
all. But
Yeah.
if Chande, share some information about it with me, and I'll take a look at my schedule.
No
Awesome,
problem.
awesome. I'll see you there.
Very
All
good.
right.
All right,
All right.
Ron. Thank you
Thanks a
so
lot,
much.
y'all.
Thank you.
Best continued success at Dell.
Same here.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Talk to you soon.
Mm.
Bye.